Introducing new improved Kraft barbecue sauce. It's got more cling, so you get more taste. It's the Clinger.
It's a Kraft. It's a sticker.
Oh, yeah.
New Kraft barbecue sauce
Is the Clinger. It stays on thick.
The Clinger clean.
So you get more taste.
The Clinger zing. More.
Kraft taste.
New Kraft barbecue sauce.
It's the Clinger.
How do you recognize Almay eyes? Is it the long, dark, dramatic lashes? Of course. But Almay mascara is more than beautiful. It's gentle to your eyes, gentle to your skin. Because there are times when every woman can have sensitive skin. So Almay mascara is Almay Pure, hypoallergenic, 100% fragrance-free. You know, I think Almay loves my eyes.
Almay hypoallergenic, because every woman can have sensitive skin.
You're about to watch me break a habit. You ready? I used to drink this. Now, I drink this. Oh, I know what you were thinking. Sprite and 7-Up are the same thing, right? Wrong. Because Sprite's the only caffeine-free soft drink with limen. That special lemon-lime taste that beats 7-Up in a taste test. So I used to be a 7-Up drinker. Some habits are easy to break.
It's only Sprite for you.
Polaroid is traveling around America to let people discover today's Polaroid instant pictures. Here's the great barbecue cook-off in Conroe, Texas. Meet Mark Peters. It's his first time.
Boy, that's vivid color.
They're real sharp and clear.
I am really not that good at it. Makes for a better time when you can see them right away, doesn't it?
That's right.
Everyone that I showed their pictures to, they really brightened up their day.
Come on, America. Discover today's Polaroid instant pictures.
You can make friends with the camera.
We will return Diana Ross and Michael Jackson in The Wiz.
Monday, Mrs. King's on a noble mission.
Fully intend to meet a prince and marry him.
But can Scarecrow stop an assassin from ending the royal line? Then will Kate reunite with her ex and leave poor Allie all alone?
Oh, where are the honeymooners when you need them?
And a new heart and affair to remember becomes a fantasy to forget.
Are you wanting me again?
Don't fight it.
Then, on Cagney and Lacey, Mary Beth is out for revenge when a vicious killer shoots Chris. But stricken with guilt, can she bring the shooter to justice alone? Cagney and Lacey, Monday.
He's had a season most players only dream about. He's the leader of the Knicks, Bernard King. The NBA playoffs follow the Magic tomorrow on CBS Sports. This is CBS.
I love to surf in it.
I love to fish in it.
I love to swim in it. I love to splash in it.
People who love the water love New York. And we have special vacation packages that make it easy to dive right in. See your travel agent or call for our free vacation guide.
I love to kiss in it.
I love New York. What a great vacation.
Today's your CD day.
Yes, it is.
At every Marine Midland Bank, we've got a program going on. Awards go to the bank employees who give our customers the best in individual service. Like a CD that matures on the day you want it to.
When are you leaving on the cruise?
Tomorrow.
Are you getting the best in individual service at your bank? You can make it happen with Marine.
How safe is the school bus? Monday at 6. And now, the conclusion of The Wiz.
Chevrolet, taking charge.
Ever notice how many Chevy Chevettes you see on the road? That's because Chevette's basic design hasn't changed in 9 years. A design so easy to service, many people do it themselves. And so dependable, 97% ever built are still going strong. Chevette, the lowest price car built in America, designed to please almost everybody.
Chevrolet,
And you.
taking charge.
What kind of day is your hair having? Will it need a light shampoo or a really deep cleaning?
Sometimes you need a little finesse.
sometimes you need a lot.
Finesse shampoo is specially formulated to clean deeply on the days you need it, gently on the days you don't, without drying, without over-cleaning.
Cause sometimes you need a little finesse, sometimes you need a lot.
Now you can move beyond Theragram M, beyond Myadec, beyond Centrum. Now there's one that has it all.
The one that has it all, new one a day, Maximum.
All essential vitamins are here. Even vitamin K.
Maximum.
All the minerals in the U.S. RDA are here too. And more.
Maximum. The one that has it all, new one a day, Maximum.
Sunday, Klinger can't seem to go by the book.
Roll down your sleeves before someone throws you a banana.
After MASH, and on an all-new Four Seasons, friends in close quarters catch cabin fever.
You are not going to shave on my casserole.
Then on the Jeffersons, conman Garrett Morris puts George's life on the line.
What happens if you lose? You got a son? Yeah. Then the name won't die.
And on Alice, relive a major American event, Vera's wedding. Then on Trapper John, Big Brother is watching.
You want a little profile shot here?
Sunday.
Tuesday on the American Parade with Charles Kuralt. Meet Jesse Jackson's fiery friend and supporter, Louis Farrakhan. Then, Helen Hayes in Agatha Christie's A Caribbean Mystery.
He's dead!
A man with a secret is killed, and the murderer won't stop. We've got the touch, Tuesday.
This is CBS.
Good news.
If an Egg McMuffin sounds good to you, listen to the sound of our two new McMuffin sandwiches. Both on toasted English muffins with melted cheese, but with a whole new sizzle to fill up the middle. It's McDonald's Sausage McMuffin and Sausage McMuffin with egg. If you think they sound good, wait till you taste them.
More good news. McDonald's is giving away bite-sized samples of our new Sausage McMuffin sandwiches. There's one waiting for you between 8 and 10 a.m. now through May 12th.
At the age of 14, I discovered the secret. Pick the one thing you do best and work at it. So while every other kid was trying to be the next Iceman, I would hit the boys. Because I figure that you ain't got the ball, you can't shoot the ball.
There are a lot of logical, factual, meaningful reasons to serve.
It's at 7.
Coming up next on Channel 2 News Weekend Report, a frightening moment in South Korea as Pope John Paul becomes the target of an attacker. Walter Mondale takes Texas, a $10 million loss in New Jersey's Freehold Raceway fire. Plus, Steve Albert with today's Run for the Roses, the Islanders run for the Stanley Cup, and learning how to call them as they see them. Umpires go to school.
This is Channel 2 News, the Weekend Report, with Vic Miles, Steve Albert, and Mr. G with the weather.
Good evening. A big scare today for Pope John Paul on his historic mission to South Korea. On a downtown Seoul street, a young man fired what now appears to have been a toy gun at the Pope at point-blank range. Though there are conflicting reports about just how close the man was and how many shots he fired, what is known is the pontiff was in his bulletproof Pope-mobile and was not hurt. Richard Roth reports from Seoul.
Pope John Paul was clearly enjoying the cheers of the largest crowd he's encountered so far in Korea. An estimated 600,000 people gathered in a downtown plaza for a mass and canonization ceremony. A security scare had occurred about half an hour earlier when, according to government officials, a man with a history of mental problems dashed from a crowd 60 yards from the Pope's motorcade, pointing what authorities say turned out to be a toy gun.
Didn't use toy gun. He was just holding the toy gun.
Foreign Ministry spokesman Lee Sang-ok said that a security officer did fire one warning shot, and the man, identified as a 22-year-old student, was arrested unhurt. He said the man's gun was a $4 toy, able to fire caps but not bullets. The Pope's schedule was not affected, and Korean authorities, asked if they were making changes in security arrangements, said only that they were certain the Pope would be safe for the remaining hours of his visit here. Richard Roth, CBS News, Seoul.
The tedious task of determining the cause of that spectacular fire at Freehold, New Jersey Raceway is still underway tonight. State and county arson experts are digging through the debris of the oldest pari-mutuel track in the country. Damage is estimated at $10 million, but as Lester Holt reports, that's only part of the loss.
The horses were safe in their stables. The fans gone home following the scheduled afternoon harness races. Yet the toll from last evening's Freehold racetrack fire is immeasurable. The flames reduced a piece of history to this grotesque hulk. The racetrack has been a part of Freehold since 1853.
We have been more or less running consecutively since then. We are unquestionably the oldest racetrack in the United States. I just can't envision this place without having a Freehold raceway.
Over its lengthy history, the grandstands here have been renovated a number of times. In fact, the fire last night began in one of those renovated areas of steel and brick. But below the steel and brick, some of the original wood frames. Fire investigators who declined to go on camera say the grandstand's wood and high winds helped push the fast-moving fire along. Officials have not pinpointed the exact cause, though an electrical malfunction is suspected.
Certainly, as a business, we are distressed. Personally, it's terrible. But it puts people out of work.
I just turned 70, and it makes it kind of hard for me after working here 20-some-odd years. That means that I'll have to start all over again.
I came last night and watched it, and it's unbelievable, really.
That's about all any of the track employees could say today as they surveyed the destruction. By racing standards, the Freehold track is small. Its daily take is about $400,000, less than half of what is bet at big tracks like the Meadowlands. Likewise, the number of employees here is relatively small, about 300. For 28 years, this is the only racetrack Patrol Judge Hugo Fleming has known.
This is where I got my start, and I branched out from here to various other tracks, and it's been my livelihood. Without it, I don't think I would have made out as good as I did.
Eventually, a new grandstand is expected to rise here, replacing this one, but continuing a more than 100-year-old Freehold tradition. Lester Holt, Channel 2 News.
It was shades of the 1960s for a few hours in Washington Square Park today. Several hundred people, some sporting long hair and red bandanas, gathered for the World Cannabis March. Many openly smoked marijuana to show support for legalizing the drug, and the protesters charged that the money President Reagan is spending to crack down on drugs should be used for other things. But unlike the smoke-ins of the hippie days, police did not stand back and just watch. They issued summonses to about a dozen demonstrators. Administrators at the exclusive Choate Prep School in Wallingford, Connecticut, are still reeling tonight from a cocaine scandal. School officials say they have expelled 14 students following the arrest of one of them on charges of trying to smuggle in $300,000 worth of cocaine. 17-year-old Derek Otis was arrested at Kennedy Airport on a flight from Caracas, Venezuela. Police say they found the drug in his suitcase. The other students were involved with Otis, according to school officials. Choate is one of the country's most prestigious private schools. Among its graduates, the late President Kennedy. The Bushwick section of Brooklyn, an aging mix of tenements, abandoned buildings, and vacant lots littered with filth. Bushwick was ready for a house cleaning, and today its residents took on the job, as Tony Vigneri reports.
It's a massive spring cleanup, an overhaul of the Bushwick neighborhood. Residents from 80 block associations are taking it upon themselves to pick up the debris, to sweep away the dirt.
Nobody would help us. The city won't help us. We had to get out here and do this on our own.
It's vacant lots like these that are scattered throughout the neighborhood that are not only an eyesore, a health hazard, but a breeding ground for rats.
I'm fed up, yes, because it's too much dirt and there's rats, and I'm scared of rats.
I seen one on the cellar about that large. Matter of fact, he backed me up in the little corner for a minute. I just looked at him, I didn't move. And then he just ran over to the side.
City sanitation and police crews were also out in force picking up the bags of trash and removing abandoned cars from vacant lots. City officials believe, aside from the sanitary and health hazards, the debris and litter weakens the economic and social structure of not only the neighborhood, but the city.
Well, it's our hope
that this activity today will serve as a contagion to other communities, as well as people in this particular community who haven't gotten involved thus far.
But the rat problem is foremost in everyone's mind here, and residents say they will no longer let the litter and the rats rule their lives.
The people down here around this area are tired of seeing the rats come out of the buildings the way they're coming out. You know, it's pretty dangerous to have little kids running around this here block. There's a lot of them. And to have the rats come out and bite one of these kids, it'd be a hell of a shame. You know?
Residents would like to turn this dirty lot into a park, an area where neighborhood children could play and where they wouldn't have to worry about being chased out by rats. Tony Vigneri, Channel 2 News, Brooklyn.
When we return, a floating museum becomes the target of a Puerto Rican protest as demonstrators take over the Intrepid. We'll have the story.
My poor master used to work like a dog on this lawn, weeding, feeding, spraying bugs, having no fun. Then he found out that Lawn Doctor could do all that and give us a thick, green, roly-poly lawn for less than it cost him to do it himself. Call Lawn Doctor and get a green thumb without lifting a paw.
Among the cars of the future at this year's auto shows are these advanced designs from Audi's German engineers. Refined in wind tunnels, they slice through air with ease and agility and with almost no wind noise. But unlike other car makers' prototypes, you don't have to wait years to drive them. You can experience the luxurious new Audi 5000s, the most aerodynamic wagon and sedan in America today. Audi.
Puts beauty into motion every day. Delta is ready when you are.
Old Homer here needs a lot of copies because he's got to meet a deadline. So we got this little meter DC 111 copy. Hardly cost beans. Got to meet a budget. Old Homer's so tight he squeaks. Look, Homer, copies on plain paper and lickety-split service from that good old boy, the meter man.
Got a meter. Oh, got a meter man. Meta, full-service copiers.
Two major Democratic battles underway in Campaign 84 tonight. In the Louisiana primary, where the outcome hinges on the polls, incomplete returns indicate Jesse Jackson may have chalked up his second primary win of the year, with Gary Hart in second place and Walter Mondale a surprising third. But in Texas, where the candidate is chosen by a combination of a primary and a caucus, CBS News reports a survey of sample precincts shows strong support for Mondale. For a look at how that Texas system works, here's David Dick.
This year, Texas has become a prize of unusual importance for the Democratic presidential candidates. A combination of timing and a unique Texas-style voting system have the potential for giving Walter Mondale his big M, momentum.
And I've been in western Texas for less than 24 hours. The wind has stopped, the sand has settled down, the skies have opened, the sun is shining, and there's beauty in the land.
Without Texas, Gary Hart could suffer his own Alamo. After all, if the West doesn't start here, then where does it begin? The black vote is mainly symbolic in Texas, where the white and the Hispanic vote by far have the greater numbers.
Vote twice! Make it nice! Vote twice! Make it nice!
When Jesse Jackson says vote twice, he's not playing on words. In Texas, you have to vote twice if your vote for a Democratic presidential nomination candidate is to count at all. You must vote first sometime during the day for local and statewide candidates. Only then have you earned the right to return tonight to vote in the presidential precinct conventions or caucuses. It's a complicated process, and relatively few attend or even understand it. Organized labor took aim on only dyed-in-the-wool Mondale supporters to make sure they attended this evening's caucuses. To counter this, the Hart campaign poured in $300,000 for its own phone bank to corral only the dyed-in-the-wool Hart supporters.
I'm calling about Gary Hart.
So, from a big old state and a little old caucus, the decision is made. Critics say it favors the regular party activists.
In other words, only about 10% of the people who vote in the primary will actually take part in our caucuses.
The first time I ever went to a precinct convention, it was over in 5 minutes, and I didn't even know what had happened.
The Texas caucuses aren't new. What is new is that this year the eyes of the nation are upon Texas. David Dick, CBS News, Dallas.
Dan Rather will have a special report on today's votes immediately following this broadcast. The next big battle in the Longhorn State will come in November, and whoever takes Texas on Election Day could take the presidency as well. That means the state's Hispanic vote carries a lot of presidential weight, as Carlos Aguilar of CBS News reports.
A naturalization ceremony of new American citizens in San Antonio.
Raquel Martinez Rios.
Almost half of the people here came from Mexico. In just the last 6 weeks, in time for today's primary, 85,000 Hispanics registered. Now, almost 1 million Hispanics in Texas can vote. They are putting the presidential candidates on notice.
Everybody looks to Texas for the vote, and Hispanics in Texas for the vote, and we think, okay, so what? What are you going to do about it? So we're looking, we're pushing, we're putting some pressure on. There we go.
The pressure is working. The candidates are talking about Hispanic concerns and are going to parts of Texas rarely visited in the past. But Hispanics might take a lot of convincing.
Eating our food and putting on our sombrero is not what we consider to be the answer to the dilemma afflicting the Hispanic community.
There are Hispanics in positions of power in government and business, whose main concerns are about the economy and defense. George Shipley is a pollster and political consultant.
I think what you have to suggest is the so-called Hispanic voter. There isn't one Hispanic voter, first of all. The difference is not ethnic background, but social class. That's income and education. And the Hispanic voter is no different demographically than the rest of the Southwest. Younger, better educated, more economic opportunities, and hence more political sophistication.
I believe that in this election, we will have something on the order of 35 to 40% turnout, and that Mexican-American turnout will be 2-3 percentile points higher than the Anglo turnout.
Leaders look at the Texas primary as just a tune-up fight. They will be potential power brokers at this summer's Democratic convention and expect to have an impact on the presidential election in November. Carlos Aguilar, CBS News, San Antonio.
11 demonstrators who barricaded themselves inside the museum ship Intrepid were arrested today and charged with criminal mischief and trespassing. The protesters demanded independence for Puerto Rico and spray-painted slogans on the aircraft carrier, which is docked in the Hudson River. They were arrested after about 2 hours, while another group of demonstrators remained outside the ship chanting against U.S. policies in Central America. Ed Koch says all those critics who gave his book Mayor nasty reviews are going to get their just desserts when his book comes out in paperback next year. His Honor says he's written a new chapter to the book, zapping reviewers like Arthur Schlesinger. The Pulitzer Prize-winning historian, in a review, called the mayor a mean and vindictive man. We asked Mayor Koch at a conference for writers at the Grand Hyatt Hotel today if his new chapter isn't sour grapes.
If you were on the bestseller list for 11 weeks in a row, and 8 of those weeks at #1, and this is not, touting my book or being arrogant about it, I'm just giving you a factual statement, who would have sour grapes? Those are very sweet grapes.
The epilogue to Mayor isn't the only writing Koch is doing. He says he intends to write a whole new book about his early days in public office as a congressman from Manhattan's silk stocking district. There's more ahead on the Weekend Report, more fighting in Beirut, and the long journey home from Lebanon. The USS New Jersey finally makes port. Next.
This is Bill Cosby. My wife and I are packing to go on a week's vacation, and we are going to just have a ball. We're going to see wild animals, do some surfing, take the children to the amusement parks, see some of the historic treasures. We've got plenty of camping equipment. We're going to go up in the mountains and do some walking. Where are we going? New Jersey.
For a perfect vacation, come to New Jersey. New Jersey and you, perfect together.
The people who sell and install York air conditioning, they're careful. And that's what you have to be if you're going to make the right decision.
I mean, call the York dealer and he'll recommend not necessarily the most expensive system, but the one that fits you best. And if you do that between now and May 31st, he'll give you a beautiful free phone so that you can spread the word. Here's a York dealer you can call today.
Astro Air Conditioning and Long Island Air Conditioning.
1942 Continental always made me feel like I was riding on air. The 1984 Continental, it gives me the same feeling because it actually does ride on air. It has a unique air suspension system that gives you a marvelous combination of comfort and control. And last year, Lincoln had the highest quality luxury cars made in America. The 1984 Continental. One day, I think, it'll take its place beside this one as a classic.
Dare to compare. Watch how the Texas Instruments professional computer makes software perform even better than the IBM PC. Look. Same software titles, but TI displays more information with a sharper picture and twice the colors. TI even displays data faster. See your dealer for the Texas Instruments professional computer. TI makes the best software perform even better.
A rubber raft careening over a Potomac River dam near Washington overturned today, tossing 6 off-duty soldiers and a woman into the rushing waters. 3 people were rescued, including a bystander who jumped into the water in an unsuccessful rescue attempt. But police say 1 person drowned and 4 others are missing and presumed dead. And tragedy struck a busload of English tourists today on the island of Mallorca off coast of Spain. The bus blew a tire and plunged off a narrow bridge, killing 9 people and injuring 35 others. Rocket and artillery fire between Beirut's warring factions reached its worst level in 3 weeks today. Police reported at least 19 people died and 100 more were injured in the fighting. The shelling broke windows at the U.S. ambassador's residence and at the presidential palace. A peace march that was planned for tomorrow had to be canceled because of the heavy fighting. For the USS Battleship New Jersey, the nightmare of Beirut duty has finally ended. The New Jersey came home today, a trip that took much longer than a crew ever expected. Andrea Naberson of CBS News reports.
The USS New Jersey steamed into Long Beach today, ending a voyage that took the battleship halfway around the world. It was home again for the 1,500 sailors on board. Many had been at sea for nearly a year, so the shore looked mighty good. Thousands lined the pier as the ship pulled in.
Dad, come on! Jersey power! Did you see him? Yeah.
At last, the wait was over. The ship left last June on what was supposed to have been a 3-month tour. It didn't turn out that way.
Beirut, Lebanon. That's where we ended up.
The New Jersey was part of the fleet protecting peacekeeping forces in Lebanon. This sailor was gone so long, he worried that some had forgotten him.
One don't even remember me.
It was home again, at least for a time. Andrea Naberson, CBS News, Long Beach.
Coming up next on the Weekend Report, Steve Albert with all the sports, including a win for the Islanders that puts them another step closer to the Stanley Cup.
Please, Mr. Graziano, hold still.
Relax, Sylvia. You're doing makeup, not miracles.
So, 3 chances to win.
Hey, Pierre, you want the hairdryer? Oh, let's give him a hat, Whitey.
Or you can play a quinella.
Quinella, did I not come on, Buffalo?
Oh, come on, fellas. We gotta look good for OTB.
Is this the beer commercial?
Strawberry?
For everyday excitement, nothing beats OTB.
This Olympic winning moment sponsored by Roy Rogers.
Czechoslovakia's Emil Zatopek, London, 1948. On the way to becoming the world's premier distance runner, he wins the grueling 10,000. He goes on to take 3 more distance gold medals at Helsinki in 1952. For the Iron Czech, Olympic winning moment.
Slow down, we know how you feel, but no
always starts with fresh, not frozen chicken. Each piece fresh fried to tender, juicy perfection.
This might be fast food, but it's the kind you eat slow down, slow down.
A small business is almost never too small for a personal computer, especially one that puts popular software at your fingertip, like the Hewlett-Packard touchscreen personal computer. A touch of the screen lets you keep track of customers, walk through your ledger, see that inventory's the right size, and write letters to boot. With Hewlett-Packard, making your way to the top needn't be such a difficult feat. See the touchscreen personal computer at your nearest Hewlett-Packard dealer.
Once again, baseball season. That means fans, players, and umpires the men fans love to hate. But being an ump is more than saying you're out. Why, as Tony Vigneri found out today, it requires an education.
Yes, umpires really do go to school. And some aspiring umps took to the field at Fordham University today to learn how to call them. And to learn how to call them.
Okay, but remember the mechanics I taught you today. 4 hours I've been telling you. He's out. He's out. Try it again.
And to learn how to call them like they see them, despite complaints.
Dude! What are you throwing me out for? Can't you take it? Can't you take it?
But why would a person want to put up with all that abuse?
I think it would be the greatest fun in the world to have Earl Weaver come out of the dugout, yell and scream, and know that there's nothing he can do to you. You have total power over the situation.
What's going on in your mind when somebody's yelling at you?
Well, what's the matter with this nut? That's usually, that's why I think this guy's nuts. Sometimes I have to calm him down and say, when you
created a complex and efficient program to fit in a small memory space.
What we did is go the route of small personal computers that emulate the graphics capabilities of the large mainframe systems.
Here students study a rotary auto engine. They drew it themselves and in full motion.
This can be used as a teaching aid to show exactly what happens inside the engine.
Now all the students can practice and get ready for their profession. Earl Ubell, Channel 2 News.
From his mountaintop ranch in Santa Barbara, President Reagan today took time out from a weekend holiday to pay tribute to American mothers. On the eve of Mother's Day, Mr. Reagan urged Americans to recognize the enormous contributions of mothers, and he paid tribute to his own administration, saying he had made solid progress in easing inflation. Mother's Day came early for Wanda Bernabe and her family. Wanda's mother and 2 daughters held a party today to mark the holiday and the news that she's going home from the hospital. As Sam Dick reports, the fact that Wanda's alive is cause for celebration in itself.
When 25-year-old Wanda Bernabe came to Calvary Hospital in February, doctors didn't think she would live more than a few weeks. She had cancer in a muscle of her intestinal wall. But months passed, the terrible pain went away, and Wanda fought to live. Monday, she's going home for good.
I feel great about going home on Monday because I want to be with my family, with my children.
Wanda is doing so well that tomorrow doctors are letting her celebrate Mother's Day at her parents' home.
I feel happy because in January I think I lost her because we don't have a hope in January, but you see now it's May and she's alive.
I want to be with my children and my family just in case anything does happen in the future. You know, at least I want to spend the last moments with them at home.
15-month-old Yvonne and 6-year-old Denise don't understand what is happening, but then even the specialists can't figure out why Wanda's cancer is in remission. They can only guess.
And I think the why is really unknown, except that there is a tremendous will in this particular patient to continue to live, to be with her family, and to enjoy life.
The doctors didn't think Wanda would live to see her 25th birthday. She fooled them a couple of weeks ago.
I wanted to be with my little one. I haven't been with her for quite a while, so I wanted to be with her. So I said, I'm determined to live, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it, and I did it. Doctors think I was going to die, but I'm here. They put me in here to die, but I'm not going to die. I'm going to go home Monday, and I'm going to make it.
Sam Dick, Channel 2 News.
We'll have more news in a moment.
Bonjour, bonjour. Sizzling. What yes is bonjour?
Mother's Day is Timex time. Incredible beauty. Bring the value of Timex quartz into her world.
You want to make your family's trip the very best to see as much as you can see. And when it's time to stop, you stay at Days Inn, 'cause when you do, your kids eat free.
The great value you always get at Days Inn is even better right now, because when you stay with us, kids 12 and under can eat all their meals absolutely free. A clean, comfortable room with a terrific offer. Kids eat free at Days Inn. For reservations, call 1-800-325-2525.
May 7th, 1955. The Kentucky Derby is a race between superstars as Swaps, ridden by Willie Shoemaker, defeats Nashua with Eddie Arcaro aboard by a length and a half. Nashua was the favorite on the strength of 6 straight wins, but Swaps beat him on this day in 1955.
Hey, look what you can fly Delta for.
You can fly Delta for that? Delta for that?
Right. With Delta's super low fares, why shop around?
You can fly Delta for that?
People fly Delta for the personal service they get from Delta's dedicated men and women. But there's another reason.
Hey, look what you can fly Delta for.
Delta is ready when you are.
This word in from Kathmandu in Nepal. 4 Americans and a Sherpa tribesman guide today scaled Mount Everest, the world's highest mountain. The 5 took 11 hours to negotiate the last 728 feet, inching their way through a snowstorm. And when they finally got to the top, one of the Americans radioed back, "We're standing at the top of the expletive-deleted mountain." And here with the sports, Steve.
All right, thank you, Vic. Hockey in the spotlight at the Nassau Coliseum this evening. Game 6 of the Wales Conference Final, and the final score, Islanders 8 and the Bruins 4. So the Islanders, after a couple of tense moments in this series, wrap it up in 6 games. In the first period, opening minute, gorgeous goal by Butch Goring, weaving his way in. 1-0 Islanders. Goring gets the attack going. Then it's Mike Bossy going to work. An incredible night for Mike. The first of his 4 goals made it 2-0 Islanders. And in the second period, Islanders ahead 3-2 at this stage. It is Bossy again to make it 4-2 Islanders. Then with the Islanders up 4-3, guess who? The hat trick for Bossy, his 3rd of the playoffs, 2nd of this series, tying an NHL playoff record, made it 5-3. Still in the second, Bossy, his show just continues. With this goal, his 15th of the playoffs, takes over the playoff scoring lead, make it 6-3. Islanders go on to win 8-4, open the Stanley Cup Finals on Tuesday in Edmonton. Well, many people call it the most spectacular 2 minutes in sports, the Kentucky Derby. Today marked the 109th running at Churchill Downs. There was no clear-cut favorite, no dominating force, wide open field, yet a well-balanced one. It all took place on a rain-soaked track. Let's pick up the call to the stretch drive with track announcer Mike Battaglia.
They're moving for the stretch. Sonny's Halo on the inside has his head in front. Desert Wine is second. Highland Park's still right there. Now coming up on the outside and gaining ground, Slew of Gold. Marfa on the extreme outside. Down the stretch, it's Sonny's Halo on the inside. Desert Wine is second. On the outside, Marfa. Up between horses, Slew of Gold and Playfellow. They're nearing the finish. It's Sonny's Halo. He's going to win it.
Well, exactly the way you figured, right? An off-track, rainy day, and a horse by the name of Sonny's Halo wins the first jewel of the Triple Crown. Eddie Delahousse in the saddle, the time 2:02 1/5, well off the Derby record. Sonny's Halo paid $7 to win. Desert Wine, that's the horse that Warner picked, came in second. Caveat was third. Marfa, the 2-1 favorite, finished 5th. All right, turning to baseball at Chase Stadium tonight, final score, Reds 7. And the Mets 5. And this is the kind of night it was. 5th inning, Davey Concepcion, the batter. He hammers it to right field. Watch what happens with Darryl Strawberry's throw. It goes through Giles, Oquendo, and Ashford. Gary Reedus able to